All right, good day. Hi, welcome. Okay, so uh, what was I going to talk about? I was going to talk about something. My dad came down here last night, and he was quite impressed. He goes, "You can still smell a little bit of the like it's mainly like the dog smell that you can smell down here." But he was like, "Wow, it was a lot better." he was nowhere near as bad as what it was. He was quite impressed. I'm still not done yet, so my dad's gone up to do some grocery shopping. So I got him to pick me up some large garbage bags and some regular garbage bags, and I'll just pay him for them because that was on my list. So I can knock that off. I was going to get him to pick up some other stuff. I was going to go with him, but I ended up going on that little trapping excursion scout today. Um, I got somebody had asked me if I could do it yesterday, and the thing is that when people know you do certain things, like they're like, "Oh, well, you come trap ours, trap this," so you can make money doing stuff like that, like it for the winter. But it depends on what all you got going on in the winter, right? So um, yeah, to make it worthwhile or whatever. So yeah, so it could be an interesting winter. Could be an interesting winter. Um, But yeah, so my dad was down here. I think the second time he's been down here since I've been working on it, but this first time he's seen it kind of clean. Because when he came down here last time, I had stuff all over the place and still trying to get all the stuff out. And he was, just in and out of here for a few seconds. So last night he actually got to kind of see what I done. You know what I mean? Like, oh wow, it's not the same place. It's not too bad in here. The windows are closed. I got the front door open because they just came in. Probably going to run the dehumidifier today. I don't know what the humidity is today, but the past couple of days it's been really, really high, which has been a good test for this place. Because if it's going to stink, it's going to stink when the humidity's high. Oh, I didn't check the pail. Can't tell if there's a mouse in there. Nope, no mouse. So, no mice either. So, 82% humidity at 17 degrees. Wow. But it is the fall, right? So, but it's not like humidity where everything's starting to swelter up because like it's like there's enough airflow and it's cool enough. But if it was really hot out, 82% humidity and like 30-degree heat is like death, right? So anyway, yeah. So I'm gonna see if I can get some more of these dishes done. It's taking forever. My God, it's like just be done already. Just be done. I don't want to play anymore. I gotta light my candle. Should light my lamps. My coal oil lamps. That was cool that I got to light them yesterday. So, but I'm kind of excited and stoked about a new trapping season because it is something I do enjoy doing, and I also enjoy teaching people like what it is that I do. Right? I just gotta light this candle here. And telling them all the psychology of a beaver and stuff like that. Well, they do this and they do that, and they probably you won't realize, but this is how they I showed them like all the mud spots that where they dig and stuff like that. He's like, oh wow, he goes, that's them. I said, that's them. I said, they'll do that in the night. Like I mean that's how crazy it is, eh? Well, I'm gonna like this guy too. I said, light them. Burns hands. Burns out. So, anyway, okay, fine then. I won't like this guy. I wanted to like this guy. I have the other one for that. The other candle holder for that. But yeah, so it's like if I can basically keep busy through the winter doing something like that, okay, it's maybe not the ideal job, but between that and other stuff, I might be doing okay. Because I'm trying to set up my winter clientele there now. Yes, it's still September, but like for another couple of days, and that's it. And then October is the kind of the make or break month for my winter clientele, right? So it's like, who am I going to have for this winter? So one client is already done for the season, so to speak. Well, she's not there, but there's a little bit of work left to finish up there, pulling flowers and stuff like that. Then I've got my other client. She'll probably go right till like early November, even if it's not full days. And then after that, like I'd like to get the scrap metal done. I saw my buddy Paul and his stepson, doing a haul of scrap metal. I was like, oh, I could be with them today. Damn it. Um, so I guess they were just like getting rid of some. I don't know if they were doing eco center stuff, whatever. I got to call them tonight anyway to see if we're working tomorrow. And if not, well, okay, no problem. I'll come down here and I'll get stuff done. Um, I'm not ready to go full production yet, but I hope you guys are enjoying some of the music videos I'm putting. I know they're really simple videos, but that's where it starts, right? So I'm going to be working on a really cool song. Very cool. I've only seen one other guy really pull it off really well acoustically, and it's probably one of the best thrash metal bands. Uh, if you can call them thrash metal, they are. They're not. But they were definitely pioneers of changing stuff from classic metal to modern metal. We'll just leave it at that. And they're an awesome band. I only discovered them when they were opening up for another band, and I watched them, and I was like, these guys are freaking awesome. Wow, that guitar player. Wow, he's good. He's good. Yeah, and yeah, it definitely was experience. So I'll be covering one of their songs next. Hopefully, it's getting all the lyrics down. I got most of them down. One thing I love is now that you know, things are slowly getting into place. I still got some stuff to bring down. Not a lot though. Like it's a lot of little things I got to bring down. Obviously, got to bring down the trapping equipment for do some conservation trapping for some problem beavers. I got to do that. I got to bring down my tools and stuff like that. But pretty much all my musical equipment, with the exception of I think 3 or 4 guitars, how many guitars do I get? Are all pretty much down here, ready to go. So I wanted to get stuff set up this weekend. My friend Amanda got a hold of me. She said, "Oh, Reg, I'm having the big job thing there, or what do you call it, the job market thing at my shop there this weekend." She goes, "If you, I know it's a late notice, but if you want to come and play live, come ahead. I'd love to, but I don't know how to get there and get back, and I don't have a PA. So I don't have the vehicle, and I don't have the PA, and I don't have a set list ready. Because last year I did it, and it was a lot of fun. And whatever, I played for like 6 hours, 5 or 6 hours last time. I wouldn't do that this time. Like this time, it's just like, okay, maybe 2 hours. So I might have to sit this one out. It's too bad because that's kind of like my last probably outdoor gig potential for the season. But she's having it late this year. Last year was in August, and I think like it's that tricky thing where if you try to do something in August, it's so hot, right? My uncle didn't have the fish fry this year. That was kind of strange. Um, I think he's had the fish fry the last past like 20 years. It was the first year he didn't do it. There might have been one other year he didn't do it, but yeah. So hopefully it's not a sign of things going. Like this room right here used to be the shindig hall. You'd have 30 family members in here. My grandmother, grandfather. Well, it was mainly my grandmother because my grandfather was passed away by that time. But even growing up, like my grandmother, grandfather, all my aunts and uncles, all the kids, all the cousins. And then after my grandmother passed away, that was one of the first things that, struck me after my grandmother passed away was that was the end of an era of the, like, where are we going to hold the family shindigs now? You know what I mean? Sometimes my aunt up there will have them, but not too often. Like a lot of times she'll do Thanksgiving up there, but that's a lot of work for one person. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. So my other aunts and stuff like that usually chip in and help out, but it's a lot. So someday, if I can get all the like this place decented enough, even if I have to borrow a couple of tables from wherever, so okay, bring down an extra two tables, bring the family over for old time's sake. I would love to keep that tradition going because I think that's so important. Like when you have five generations of family under one roof, that is something. Unfortunately, not a lot of people get to see they've been there. But yeah, I've had five generations of family. You know what I mean? Like I mean, well, some people in their 90s, right? Um, yeah, and then a couple of newborns. It's like, oh, geez, there's five generations. Like they're both on the extreme ends. You like fresh out of the oven. Yeah, yeah. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Yeah, so I'd like to be able to do that. So, but all that stuff's coming. Uh, the descenting of the place, I think, has been the most important thing. But it's like I'm noticing that, like, I mean, we're almost a month in, and I would say the smell has went away over 90%, 90 some odd percent, maybe 95%. So most of the smells in here was the stuff in here, like for example, the bags of clothes piled on each other and sealed up. Getting that out, okay, it takes a couple of days just for that smell to leave. Ripping up the floors, like you can still smell the dog over in that corner a little bit more where the linoleum was. And yesterday when I ripped up the linoleum over there, you could smell it strong over there. But give it a couple of days to air out. Maybe I'll do another baking soda treatment. Uh, like this chair, for example, like it's not bad. Like you can sort of smell it, but I mean, it's not like there's no eyes watering anywhere in this house. You know what I mean? This house is safe to breathe. You know what I mean? In 80, what was it? 86% humidity. Mind you, it's only 17 degrees, but that's a lot of humidity. If anything's going to stink, it's going to be in the humidity, right? So I'll probably run the dehumidifier for a little bit, just so the doors and stuff don't swell up again. And yeah, so the dehumidifier fans and just airing the place out is probably going to be enough to keep this place from stinking. You know what I mean? And then, of course, Operation Pine Sol when I get to it pretty soon. I mean, the floors are swept round one. I'm going to try to get the shop back down here for the weekend. Today's Friday, so tomorrow morning, bring down the shop back, go over the entire house. I was hoping to get a little bit more done today, but I didn't realize, like, when you go on the beaver scout like that, it's kind of like, okay, I'll just do 20 minutes, whatever. It's like, an hour and a half later. It's like, because oh, here, I want to explore here. Oh, I want to explore over here. The guy was really. I met him before. I know I met him a few times. I've seen him quite a few times. I said, you have a dog, don't you? I said, you walk your dog, right? He goes, yeah. I said, yeah, it's probably you that I see in the mornings. He goes, yeah, with the golden lab. I said, yeah. Or golden retriever. I said, yeah. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I said, I recognize you now. So it's one of the roads I go and there's always people walking dogs there. And it's like, okay, yeah, that's where I've seen him before. But he knew my uncle. So, like I say, small town. But so, yeah, so I got back a little bit late to get anything done here. I was going to bring down the pick and I had to bring the pick and the shovel up home there for a little bit yesterday. A little thing we had to do yesterday. So I got to bring those back down, especially my pick. That's my brand new pick. I don't want anybody stealing that. And I'll tackle the back wall again. But so far, I haven't. It's rained last night, the night before, and off and on all day yesterday, but not poured. So like it's when it pours for like really pours for like a day or so or 2 days. That's when I'm going to notice whether digging out the back walls had an effect or not. But so far, it seems that nothing's leaking in. And I'm also started when I crawled in the crawl space yesterday or the day before, whenever I did it last. I'm starting to think maybe it's not coming in from just the back wall. Maybe it's coming in from the side because I noticed there's some bricks that are pushed in there. a little bit. There's a few spots that are like that where the walls kind of, you know. Remember, this is a really old building, right? So that stuff happens, right? I'm not going to dig out the basement. Oh my God, you got to fix it. It'll stand for another 100 years like that. Like it's like it's kind of one of those things. As long as you don't just move things around, like don't pull a brick out, and then everything will cave in. But just leave it like that. It's probably good for another 100 years. It might not look good, but I don't care about that. But once I get the basement cleaned out, I'll be able to do a little bit of stuff in the basement too. I'm not going to store much down there. I might store some tools and stuff that's not going to, rust or whatever too much. Like maybe I store like a few things down there. You know, my mason jars. I'll put them in seal them in a like a tote or something like that. Put that stuff down there because I'll have tons of those. Uh, I'm not going to store much in the basement, but there's things I can store in the basement. So not everything has to be like, for example, I could put my bikes in the basement if I really wanted to, but like I'll just throw them in the woodshed. I want low effort. You know what I mean? If I have to go grab something in the basement, I don't want it to be heavy. It's not like my bikes are crazy heavy, but you can put stuff down there. Just in case you need it really quick. Uh, yeah, so a lot of exciting stuff coming anyway. And I'm very, very stoked about the next couple of weeks because I should have some production going. I'm going to start looking for my drop screens for the wall. They've got to be at least 12 feet. And they're going to have to be. Yeah, because they're gonna come they're gonna have to be at least 12 feet this way. It's a lot of fabric, and they're gonna have to come out at least 10 feet this way. So we're looking at maybe 30 feet by 12, something like that. And I want different colors. Anchor put out a brand new video last night called was it Something Dream? Let me think. You know, Endless Dream, I think is what it's called. Hanada, it's some sort of an anime name, and then Endless Dream. Totally different from their last mini album. Really, really cool. I love Anchor. I think they're absolutely phenomenal. I'd love to see them live. Uh, Jessie Williams is a phenomenal female vocalist for what she does. Like my favorite is Fabian Ernie. I think she's she's Alvady and Luma Shade now. She's doing some solo stuff too. Uh, she's my favorite vocalist of all time. I think she's the most versatile vocalist out there. You could just do everything. Um, but I think in the number two spot is Jessie Williams from Anchor. But songs wise, Elvady versus Anchor, it's like especially the last mini album that they did with Anchor is like they're so good. It's like EDM metal. It's a what metal EDM metalcore. It's really 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 cool stuff. If you haven't checked all that out, but the new one is completely different. Like it's a completely different vibe. I can't wait to see what they're gonna do with this. What kind of story they're gonna tell. Very very cool. Very very cool. And yeah, so I'm like, okay, how do I do cool videos down here? Obviously, the back wall is not going to be enough, right? I'm going to have to get drop screens. But I've been watching these other okay, my favorite metal bands, okay, are not the traditional stuff from the '90s like Iron Maiden and all that and Pantera and Megadeth and Anthrax and all. I love those guys. I love them to death. I do. But that is a world away from where we are now. It really is. I love the new stuff. It's, I mean, some of it is, nah, like anything, like there's always like, okay, here's the trendsetter, here's the copycats, right? But that's every genre. The metal all sounds the same. Yeah, pick blues all sounds the same. country all sounds the same. If you listen to enough of any one genre, it all kind of sounds the same. But if you listen to certain parts of the genre and just really appreciate it for what it is, you can find lots of wonderful stuff. But I'm really, really into the 7 string guitar stuff. It's just like, okay, my heart says solo shredding, 6 string guitar. I'm loving my Charvel. I can't wait to really start to show that thing off for you. I've been greedy and hiding it. Like I literally sleep with this guitar beside my bed. Um, it's been an excellent playing. It. I'm not saying it's overtaking my Hammer Diablo per se, because the Hammer Diablo was a slightly different animal. But there's so many parallels between my Charvel and that Hammer Diablo. The only thing missing is 2 frets, really, and the reverse headstock. If that guitar had the reverse headstock, oh, it'd be just so good. And an ebony fingerboard, that would be something else. But I love the maple fingerboard on it too. So it's like the ultimate super strat. It is just such a good. I understand why people that get addicted to Charvel guitars get addicted to them, because they're just so bloody good. But the funny thing is that they're really just a hot rodded Stratocaster at the end of the day when you really think about it. It's a Strat body. Well, the San Dimas models are anyway. The new San Dimas models, I think, are going to the DK bodies, which are really, really awesome. They're a little bit smaller, a little bit lighter, a little bit more slender, a little more ergonomic on the heel joint. And the new version of the San Dimas, it's a little different than what I got, but this one is just like extreme guitar level. And I haven't recorded with it yet. And I've got a song that I've been working on. I still got to work out the lyrics. It's not a really long song, and it's more of like a hard rock, light metal song. But the guitar solo, it's called Pinto. And it's going to be a really cool song if I pull it off the way I want to pull it off. But I'm going to record it differently. I'm not going to be recording the guitar internally anymore, digitally, so to speak. Well, okay, foot pedals, digital, whatever. But I'm going to actually record the amp. You know, the way the old timers used to do it, right? And I really want to really kind of live in the studio kind of sound. So I'm not going to double track the guitar. I know I should. If you want heavy modern metal sounds, you want those big wall of sound, you have to double track your guitars. But if you want to stand out from the crowd, you do it a little bit more vintage. What I'd rather do is distort the bass than double track the guitar, but do it so that there's no overdubbing of the guitar. Meaning there's no backing guitar track while the guitar solo is playing. The bass player is going to have to, which will be me, is going to have to take that up. Now the bass I still have to play in through the console digitally because I don't have my bass amp yet. That's why. But otherwise, but maybe by the time I get to that, which probably going to be another 2 weeks before I get to those projects started anyway. By the time I get to that, I might have a bass amp. And if I do, I will record the bass amp rather than, like, even if it's the bass amp internal into, but I'd rather mic it just to get that live in the studio sound. And then the drums, I'm going to do them acoustically the way I've been doing them, 2 mics. That's all I can do for now. Until I can get either upgrade my console or go with a full digital upgrade. But again, everything takes money, right? So I got to work with what I have. So, but that song is going to be pretty cool. Hopefully, I'll have my vocal booth built in the next, say, 3 weeks, and the drum, the semi-drum isolation booth panels. Hopefully, well, the vocal panels are going to be those panels. I want the panels to be like multi-purpose, right? I talked about them the other day, but I still got to build them. But maybe I can go crawl through the woodshed and see if I can dig those out. Definitely going to have to give them a massive airing out and cleaning for sure. But The cool part is to be able to get everything set up, ready for recording. So I got my two mic stands down here, got all my mics down here, all my cables, the recording console. I just got to figure out where I'm going to throw the recording console while I'm recording. I think it's going to be one of those. I might have to get one of those little trolley carts because okay, well I'm recording in here today. Okay, well move everything here. Just plug it in over here. Okay, I'm recording out here today. Okay, well bring it out here. So I got to figure out because also too, one thing I wish I had for that was a remote switch, so that I could have the recording console in an opposite room, so that the mics do not pick up the fans on the recording console. Right. That's one of the downsides to the BR1200 is I don't have a way of triggering it. The other thing is to get somebody else to hit the button for you. But no one's going to stick around to, unless they're recording with me. You know what I mean? So I got little things I got to do to set up the studio as a studio. But this is where I'm at. So I'm still in the cleaning mode. I'm still doing all that stuff. And I get a little bit done each day. And see, like the fridge, like that there, if that kicks on while I'm recording, yeah. So like that would have to be unplugged during the recording. Yeah, stuff like that. So you don't want to be picking that up, right? And the other thing I don't know is how much of a 60 cycle hum I'm going to get in my recordings. So hopefully not too much. That's one downside with the amplifiers. You get a 60 cycle hum a lot. Depends on like how much distortion you use and stuff like that, and how you EQ it and stuff. But anyway, I think I'm going to get cracking on some stuff here because I could talk all day and get nothing done, or I can talk a little bit today and get something done, right? Anyway, that's what I'm going to go do. Yeah, all this talk about, I want to go do it now.